Good afternoon, everyone. I, Devanshi Dishit, welcome you to the session on optimizing your invoice management system and B2C invoicing. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. In an increasingly digital world, optimizing your invoice management system is no longer just an option. It is a necessity. Whether you are a small business or a large enterprise, having an efficient, automated, and compliant IMS can significantly improve your financial operations and reduce errors as well as enhance your customer experience. Over the 2 decades, Webtel has been India's one of the leading e-compliance solutions company, well known for its compliance management, office management, and HR management solutions. We believe in delivering our best to clients through our expertise and dedicated professionalism. We have incorporated a knowledge academy as well. Whether you can do all your learnings by opting for self-paced courses, staying in line with the blogs, and keeping pace with the webinars, etc. Despite having a long history of providing simplified solutions to help our clients, communities, and networks facing compliance changes, we dare ourselves constantly to anticipate, plan, and execute in order to simplify the ever-changing world of compliances. Our products and services have covered it all for your proficiencies in compliance, virtual MS, SAP, company law, and outsourcing solutions. Now we have reached great and regulatory compliance management solutions. Even in KSA as a ZECA approved vendor and developed desktop-based application with the advanced facilities for e-filing, e-reporting, auto-updating of laws, enterprise resource planning, and payroll, etc. Today, we are presenting a webinar on optimizing your invoice management system and B2C invoicing, presented by Mr. Rajiv Khandelwal. Mr. Rajiv Khandelwal is a fellow chartered accountant of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He is also DSA and a certified system auditor. He is also an alumnus of Commerce. He has over 3 decades of experience in the compliance sector. Mr. Khandelwalji addressed over 1,000 webinars and seminars so far on compliances at NASCOM Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Company Secretaries of India, Institute of Cost and Work Accountants of India, and various studies circles, etc. Now let's just a little housekeeping before we get started. Having the chat box, we will take the same at the end of the webinar. Now, without further ado, we will turn the time over to Mr. Rajiv.
Yeah, thank you. I hope I'm audible. Very good evening, everybody, and thank you, everybody, for joining. Today's topic again is very important because, and from time to time, the department is making various changes, and obviously, whenever a new change comes, we have to comply with that. There is no questions asked. We have to comply with that, and we at Webtel always try to do something so that the compliance becomes easier for you. We try to make it as user-friendly, as simple as possible. So that is what we have done this time also. So let's begin the session. So session is divided into 2 parts. First, we'll talk about B2C invoicing, and thereafter we'll talk about the topic of the day, that is the invoice management system. See, e-invoicing, again, a new concept, at least for the B2C sector, B2C cases, when we sell to consumers also, not just registered suppliers, because for B2B already It's been quite some time that it's functioning successfully. So now government is thinking of B2C e-invoicing also. So this is a B2C invoice. Normally, this kind of invoice we see every day when we buy various groceries, etc. And the government, you are aware, made it mandatory for in some cases where turnover was about 500 crores to ensure that there was a QR code on the bill, and when you scan this QR code, then the information like this is displayed just to check tax evasion. This was done, and now it is going to be made. Initially, it is voluntary, but in times to come, it will be made mandatory also. So, after successful implementation of e-invoicing in B2B cases, the government has obviously thought about B2C cases also, but due to huge volume, etc., and various other issues, they were not doing it. But now that B2B has been successfully implemented across the country, now they are moving towards B2C e-invoicing. And in the latest GST Council meeting, they have proposed B2C e-invoicing also. So initially, it will be on a voluntary basis in particular some selected states and some specific sectors only. It is hoped that it will be like in restaurant chains like Haldiram, Bikanerwala, etc., where already for 500 crores and more they had made this QR code mandatory. So it is expected that for similar sectors it will be made optional initially, and thereafter in a phased manner it will be rolled out across the board. Why B2C invoicing? In fact, here the revenue leakage is more. You must be aware, if you are from Delhi, you would be knowing that there were several cases, even during the times of DVAT also, when some flavored milk supplier who was hugely popular, and he used to sell so many bottles during the day, and the department checked out and they found that he was hardly providing any information on the revenue. He was hardly showing any sales. Similarly, in Old Delhi, there was another case. So to plug these loopholes, even during DVAT, it was being proposed that uploading of the invoices will take place. But obviously, since GST was coming, it did not happen. And now similar things are being proposed here in B2C cases also. It will help the government keep a proper audit trail of the transactions. And department says that it will lead to improved business efficiency. It will be environment friendly, cost efficiency to the business will be there. And obviously the benefit will be there that the retail consumers will be able to verify the genuineness of the invoice. This is this reward schemes are being launched. Even in DVAT, it was there that you share the invoice, you upload the invoice, and then on the lottery system, some people will be rewarded. So similar things may be done here also. We talk about features of B2C invoicing. It is not much different from a B2B invoice format. It is the same JSON format, which will come for B2C invoices also. And here, since there is no ITC claim by the buyer, so it will be less complex and lesser fields will be there. Would be similar. Just now we saw the GST of the seller, the amount, the GST amount, etc. All those fields will be there. So much less complex as compared to B2B cases. And here, since it will across the counter sales will be done. In many cases, sale is being done across the counter, like in Bikanerwala or in Haldiram, etc. So it cannot be like that. If there's some problem in the system and we cannot issue the invoice, so please wait. अभी आपकी टर्न आएगी या अभी इनवॉइस में प्रॉब्लम है, आप वेट करिए, आधा घंटा वेट करिए, उसके बाद हम आपको इनवॉइस देंगे. That cannot happen. So probably the government will give some time to these people to upload the invoice, unlike in the case of B2B cases where invoice has to be uploaded prior to sending it across with the material, etc. Now presently what is happening with B2C supplies in GSTR1? Interstate supplies above 2.50 lakhs, we have to give invoice-wise details. For interstate supplies up to 2.50 lakhs, we have to give a state-wise and rate-wise summary. And for intrastate supplies, irrespective of the value, we have to give a rate-wise summary. In the meantime, if there are any questions, you can post the queries. So we will look into those also as available. So for intrastate supplies, irrespective of the value, the rate-wise summary is to be given. Now, it is hoped that this will change. And again, invoice-wise details will also have to be given in these cases, which definitely will pose some problems, and that is one country, but in some particular sectors and in particular some states, because volumes may be much higher for B2B transactions. They may be small 100 rupees, 20 rupees B2C transactions, etc. So they are huge. So that is why that may be a problem. And will the system be able to handle that traffic? That needs to be seen. And we as users will have to change in the ERP systems, the systems. We have to ensure that the service provider makes the necessary changes, and any delays may impact counter sales or the POS, the point of sales machines, which are there in various these restaurant chains or in various departmental stores, etc. So that may be a problem. That is why it is expected that some time will be given to them to upload. Otherwise, there may be issues. E-commerce sales, the $1 billion sale and the Amazon sales, all they are happening these days. And if they have to upload beforehand and there's some glitch, there's some issue, there's problems at the portal, what will they do? All the sales will be impacted. So again, this needs to be seen by the department, and that is why it is being done in a phased manner. And if a good system is not in place, partial or incorrect sales may be reported. This will be particularly challenging in case of where multiple branches are there, where a lot of POS machines are there, multiple locations are there. It will be more problematic there. It may happen that for some of the branches or some of the POS machines, the data is not uploaded. So that may be a problem. So question arises, what to do? There's a question when it will be applicable. It is applicable from 1st of October itself. And as users, you will be able to start using it from 14th of October when GSTR 2A and 2B will be available. So always this question comes, it is optional, so why should we worry about that? But we have seen for so many things, whether it is e-way bill, whether it is e-invoicing, initially it is optional for some people, but in due course it is made mandatory, and so that is why we should start the preparation right now. Otherwise, we may be caught unprepared and there might be issues, and it is a business continuity issue. We cannot, anything can stop, but business cannot stop. You cannot tell your management that because this e-invoicing for B2C is not enabled in our system, let us stop sales for a few days or a few hours. The thrashing you'll get from the management, you are well aware of that. So we must be ready for it. And as a service provider, we should ensure that there are least changes for the user. We at Webtel always believe in this philosophy that for users, the changes should be minimum so that it is work as usual or business as usual for them. And people who are using B2B e-invoicing for of Webtel or even e-way bill or GST return filing, they can continue to use it for B2C also. And even other people who are using even departments, utility or other softwares can shift to Webtel's e-invoicing facility, which provides you a seamless facility for generating invoices, uploading the data, and the various reports, etc., are available for you. So, and we have various integration models. We not only work for integration solutions for accounting softwares like Busy and Tally, we are also providing it for big ERPs, SAP, NAV, NAV, and Oracle, other ERPs, the various versions of these ERPs. We are providing integration facilities so that a seamless experience is for you, and you're working just in your ERP or the accounting software, and everything is happening automatically at the back end. And different facilities, different modes are being used for that. The one which is suitable for you is being provided, like it may be FTP, it may be through APIs, it may be through staging tables. So we discuss with you we see which will be the best facility for you, depending on the kind of ERPs you are using, what kind of services you require, what are the drawbacks in your system. So we see all these, our team analyzes that, and thereafter we go for this integration, which is best for you. And again, there's a good question, what will be the turnover limit? That has, as of now, not been specified, but we are assuming that it will be a high turnover limit running in some crores. And definitely after the success of that, it will be done for lesser turnover also. Now coming to invoice management system, that was all about B2C e-invoicing, and not much is known about that. But as I said, it will be similar to the B2B invoicing, but it will be lesser complex. So coming to invoice management system, as you can see, this is being written in golden letters. सुनहरे अक्षरों में लिखा गया है invoice management system, क्योंकि इसके भी again बहुत important है, एक important change है, इसके बारे में हम let's talk about in greater detail now. This is how the invoice management system dashboard, IMS dashboard looks like. Now, a very basic question, why invoice management system or IMS? There have been so many changes, this return, that return, now this new facility, now reclaimed, and carrying forward, you have to show that separately. Now we are going for annexure returns, that is being scrapped. So many changes have been taken because even the department is not sure what to do, because there are problems, there are issues, but it is trying to streamline the things and trying to help us out. So let us see how this invoice management system will make things simpler, or will it make more complex for you. First, why, the important question, why this IMS? Basically, we are filing GSTR, or our supplier is filing GSTR1. He is giving particularly for is being given. And obviously, when we get the GSTR 2A or 2B, they're also for all B2B invoices. All the details invoice-wise are available from all the suppliers to us. And we are reconciling 2A, 2B, and in the WebETDS software, or the premium version, or even detailed version, we are already doing this accepted, rejected, keep pending, etc. These options we've been using for so many years now. So we are already doing that. So what is new? We have been doing, we have all these details of invoice-wise details of ITC that we have claimed, invoice-wise details of the ITC that is being carried forward, which is rejected. But what is the government getting? Government is getting all this information summarized in all other ITC. In most of the cases, it is all other ITC. And there is a summary figure. There is no invoice-wise details. You agree with that? Let me see in the chat box who all agree to that. Fast. Yes, somebody is raising hand, somebody is saying yes. I think we will all agree that the poor government, the poor department is not getting these details, invoice-wise details, and so it is confused. It is making all type of changes with time. Sometimes initially it allows us 20% provisional ITC as compared to what is available in 2A, then 10%, then 5%, then other amount of GSTR 2B, but still whatever it is getting, it does not know if the person is eligible for that or not. Because if you are claiming ITC to the extent of that it is available in 2B, fine. But it is not that 100% is eligible what is appearing in 2B. So department still doesn't know what you are claiming, and that is the basic problem why IMS has been brought into being. And that is why मैं कहूँ तो they've been sending GST notices left, right and center. तो समझ ही नहीं आ रहा आप क्या क्लेम कर रहे हो, तो नोटिस करते हैं, फिर आपको एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ता है. तो जो उनकी प्रॉब्लम है वो अब आपकी प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है. जब नोटिस आता है आपको सब कुछ एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ता है. that is the problem. Coming to the initial system which was being proposed, some किसी समझदार आदमी ने ये प्रपोज किया था सिस्टम, और ये क्या सिस्टम था? लेट अस सी. GSTR 1, 2 and 3 का सिस्टम था. GSTR 1 में you will give the details of outward supplies. GSTR 2A will be made auto-populated details of inward supplies made available to the recipient on the basis of GSTR 1 furnished by the supplier. Then in GSTR 2, the details of inward supplies for claiming ITC. Here, addition, claims, or modification in GSTR 2A could be done and submitted in GSTR 2. You could do all these kind of changes and you could make the GSTR 2. With your changes was again auto-populated GSTR 1A for the supplier, where details of outward supplies as added, corrected, deleted by the recipient in Form 2 was made available to the supplier. And finally, on the basis of those, GSTR 1 could be filed with inward and outward supplies with the payment of tax. It was a wonderful, a beautiful system, but many people cried it is very complex, how we will do that, and government भी घबरा जाती है कभी कभी, तो काफी शोर मचा, काफी even cry, and that is why the department scrapped this system. Again has been brought back in by way of different names, and we had GSTR 1, then 3B was there for some time, and then again 3B has been made a permanent thing, and again through backdoor we are back to square one where GSTR 1, 2 and 3 will be there. Let us see how brought about. Like it will you can seamlessly accept, reject, or keep invoices pending in the system to avail later as and when required. Help in streamlining the ITC reconciliation process, greater accuracy and efficiency in GST compliance. Managing GST obligations will be easier, reducing errors and saving times and resources. And obviously, you also know that with this kind of system, taxpayers can match their records and invoices with those of the suppliers for availing the correct ITC. अभी भी हम करते आ रहे हैं, but अब department को भी पता लगेगा. And it also says taxpayers can review genuineness and authenticity of the received invoices. I don't think ऐसा कुछ है, ऐसा पहले भी हो ही रहा था. Now let us see what are the benefits for the government. Due to the summary figure of ITC in GSTR 3B, assessee can claim ITC up to the amount available in the GSTR 2B, whether eligible or not. Let's say 1 lakh rupees is there in GSTR 2B, but you are eligible only for 75. Telling you that, and that was a basic problem. Now with IMS, invoice-wise details of ITC claimed with the department will be available with the department. अब department को पैसे का हिसाब देना पड़ेगा. We can say that. And armed with this, department will be able to issue notices which will result in actual demands. अभी तक तो वो demands raise करते थे और actually कुछ receive नहीं हो रहा था उनको revenue इतना ज़्यादा unless and until दूसरी issues थे वहाँ. तो अब actual demands आएंगी क्योंकि अगर लोग ज़्यादा claim करेंगे, so obviously there will be an actual demand, and we as users, as parties who are filing the returns, we will be able to, we'll have to pay the demand, which will be actual, because now the department has the entire information of what ITC is eligible and what you are claiming. Benefits for supplier buyer. Now we'll be able to reject an invoice and the IMS if there is some issue. Some supplier is automatically intimated about the rejection, and supplier makes the necessary corrections, and suppliers and buyers GST liability is correct. So again, the beauty lies in automation. So you don't have to give a call to the supplier does not have to give a call to you. Everything will be happening automatically as was originally envisaged, but was not done. And also the government says that there is no new compliance on what always whenever something new comes, people, chartered accountants, we as chartered accountants, we as compliance officers always shout that see they are making so many changes, they're increasing our compliance burden. तो उन्होंने पहले ही क्लियर कर दिया कि भाई कोई न्यू कंप्लायंस नहीं हो रहा, it is just to facilitate you and there is no new compliance burden. Let us see whether it is there or not. So what will be the IMS flow? Let us see. There will be 4 actions: no action taken, accepted, rejected, and pending. What will be the impact of on 2B and 3B? Let us see. If there is no action taken, it will be treated as deemed accepted at the time of GSTR 2B generation. ये भी एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है कि हम लोग बहुत सारी चीजों पे एक्शन नहीं लेते, उसकी वजह से चीजें पेंडिंग होती रहती हैं और आगे नहीं बढ़ पाती, डिपार्टमेंट को नहीं पता लग पाता. दैट इज व्हाई दे हैव डन अ वेरी वाइज thing this time, that they have said if you do not take any action, it will not be kept pending, it will be treated as deemed acceptance. अगर आप हाँ नहीं करोगे तो हाँ मान ली जाएगी, चाहे आपकी हाँ थी या नहीं. And this will be auto populated in GSTR 3B as eligible ITC. Obviously, if you accept it, it will become part of GSTR 2B in the ITC available section, and it will again be auto-populated in 3B as eligible ITC. If you reject it, it will become part of GSTR 2B ITC rejected section, and obviously will not go in 3B. If you keep it pending, then again it will not be part of GSTR 2B of the month. It will remain on IMS dashboard till accepted or rejected in future, subject to the time limit prescribed. And it will not be part of 3B of this month, but it will become part of 3B in subsequent months when it is accepted or no action is taken, then it will be deemed accepted. So this is the flow of IMS. Let us understand it in greater detail, and let us see how it looks like on the GST portal, how it will look like. So this is the screenshot of the IMS dashboard, which will be available on the GST common portal in your login on the invoices dashboard. Here, the no action taken records, accepted records, rejected records, pending records, the summary will appear. And when you click on any particular one like this one, then we will get the details of the various invoices which have been for B2B cases or other cases. And for each one of them, we can take individual action. We accept it. Either we can take and we can select this one, or there is an option of even multiple selection. We can select all these, even select all or a few of them, then accept 2 records, reject 2 records, etc. We can do that. So that option is available to us. Various facilities have been given by the department, and that will definitely help us. So multiple records can also be accepted, rejected, or kept pending, etc. And various other facilities like search facility, a beautiful search facility has also been provided, wherein if you enter the GSTN, then the all the invoices of that particular GSTN will appear. If you enter a particular invoice type, it will be available. A particular status, rejected, accepted, etc., that will be available. So all these facilities are available to us. And if we still want to do any more analysis, etc., we want to send it to somebody, then we can download this in Excel and share it with the concerned person. And sometimes while doing reconciliation, I've also faced problem, and many of you also face problems. It becomes very messy. तो समझ ही नहीं आता क्या करना है. So अगर ऐसा कुछ हो जाता है तो आप सारे records को reset भी कर सकते हैं. So that facility is also there. You click a button and all the records will be reset, and you can start accepting or rejecting again. For no action taken, it will be deemed acceptance. Many of you might think कि अच्छा है, कुछ काम नहीं करना पड़ेगा और हम कोई एक्शन नहीं लेंगे तो डीम्ड एक्सेप्टेंस हो जाएगा, काम अपने आप कंप्लीट. अच्छा तो है, लेकिन कितना अच्छा है, लेट अस सी. दिस इज नॉट सजेस्टेड बिकॉज इनकरेक्ट रिकॉर्ड्स में आल्सो बी एक्सेप्टेड. जो आपको आईटीसी क्लेम ही नहीं करना, आपको जो रिजेक्ट करना था, जो 17.5 के केसेस हैं वहां आपको रिजेक्ट करना था, वो भी आपका एक्सेप्ट हो जाएगा बिकॉज डिपार्टमेंट डजंट नो अबाउट दैट. And it may result in a higher ITC claim for which subsequently notices may be received. So I think no action should not be done. And obviously, if you reject a record, kept it pending, that subsequently action will be required. So again, what is the IMS flow? Let us see. This facility to buyers will be available with effect from 14th October onwards on the GST portal. Once the supplier saves an invoice in GSTR 1, 1A or IFF, the same invoice would be reflected in the IMS dashboard of the recipient. GSTR 1 तक आपको wait नहीं करना पड़ेगा. In subsequent months, it will be available as and when the e-invoice is made or otherwise the invoice is being saved by the supplier, it will be available in your IMS dashboard. By default, all the saved files etc. will come under no action column. वो automatically accept reject वगैरह नहीं आएगा, automatically आएगा no action taken. And it will be optional to accept, reject or keep invoices pending in the IMS dashboard for GSTR to be reconciled for generation. And these actions can be taken from the time of saving the records in GSTR 1, IFF, 1A by the supplier till the taxpayer files is corresponding GSTR 3B. कभी भी आप कर सकते हैं, जो आपको रिकॉर्ड दिखने शुरू हो जाते हैं GSTR 2A 2B से भी पहले, तब भी आप एक्सेप्ट रिजेक्ट एक्सेट्रा कर सकते हैं, या आप वेट कर सकते हैं बाद तक और अपने 3B फाइलिंग तक आप इसको पोस्टपोन कर सकते हैं. Now they're talking about a draft GSTR 2B. What is that? If no action is taken, GSTR 2B is generated on 14th of the next month, like it is happening now. The draft GSTR 2B includes accepted records, no action taken records. These two records will appear in draft GSTR 2B, and the recipient can take action or change action already taken on accepted invoices till filing of 3B. 3B फाइलिंग तक आप ये सब चेंजेस एक्सेप्ट रिजेक्ट या फिर कुछ चेंज करना चाहते हैं, कभी एक्सेप्ट कर दिया लेकिन बाद में पता लगा इसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं करना था, आपने रिजेक्ट कर दिया, ये काम आपके 3B फाइलिंग तक आप कर सकते हैं. Draft GSTR 2B can be treated as final GSTR 2B in case no action has been taken. और जो एक compute GSTR 2B का ऑप्शन भी यहाँ आएगा. It will be enabled after 14th of the subsequent month if the taxpayer takes action on the IMS dashboard after that date. उससे पहले आप कर रहे हैं तो compute GSTR 2B नहीं होगा, क्योंकि तब तक 2B आपका बना नहीं है. 14th के बाद क्योंकि आपका 2B रेडी हो जाता है, तो after that if you make any changes, thereafter you will have to click on a button compute GSTR 2B, and it will be enabled after 14th, and you can then go to GSTR 2B to see the latest ITC details, and it will be auto-populated in 3B on recomputation of GSTR 2B. And remember, there will be no action after filing of GSTR 3B. This is how the button will look like, compute GSTR 2B. It will be available there. Invoices kept pending. You can also keep the invoices pending if it is not eligible for ITC currently. Probably the material has not been received till now. That is why you are unable to claim the ITC. So it may be kept pending. And ITC, it can be accepted anytime up to 30th November of the next year, or filing of annual return, whatever the limit is there. Till that time, we can carry it forward. And let us also now know that it will be a sequential generation of the various forms. GSTR 2B is filed by the taxpayer, then the GSTR 2B for the next month will be generated for you. Otherwise, if GSTR 3B you are not filing, then GSTR 2B for the next month will not be generated for you. So that is sequential generation. Earlier for 1 and 3B they have also done. Now for 3B and 2B also it is being done. If 3B of this month is not filed, then 2B for the next month will not be generated. So it is important then we file sequentially the various returns, because that is the whole idea of this return filing in GST. If sequential filing is not done, there will be a roadblock and there will be issues, there will be problems. That is why the department is holding you for such things. Also, all the accepted or the deemed accepted or rejected records will move out of the IMS dashboard after filing of the respective GSTR 3B. Once their work has been done, they have been accepted or deemed accepted or rejected, they will move out of the IMS dashboard and they will move to GSTR 3B. Pending records will continue to be on IMS dashboard, and these records can be accepted or rejected in future months. Now let us see if the original, in some cases, the supplier may be making some corrections. So in that case, what will be, if he amends a record, so what will happen if the original and amended records are in the same period? In that case, if the supplier amends the original record through GSTR 1A or GSTR 1 in the same month, then action taken by the recipient on the amended record will prevail over action taken on the original record. तो ओरिजिनल रिकॉर्ड पे आपने एक्शन ले लिया था, आपने अमेंडेड रिकॉर्ड पे भी एक्शन लिया, तो जो अमेंडेड रिकॉर्ड पे आपने एक्शन लिया है that will prevail, and over the original record that will go. That will not have any implication. And if these original and amended records are in different periods, what will happen in that case? In that case, the supplier amends original record through the various GSTR 1 or 1 in later months. Then the recipient will take action on the original record first. It cannot happen that you take on the other amended record first. In that case, you have to take action on the original record first, file GSTR 3B of this current month, and take action on the amended record in subsequent months. So this flow will happen in that case. I told you that you can take action as and when the data is available on IMS for you. तो कब करें? ये तो हम रोज कर सकते हैं. रोज जैसे ई इनवॉइस आपके IMS डैशबोर्ड पे ट्रांसफर होगी, आप इमीडिएटली कर सकते हैं. दिन में कई कई बार कर सकते हैं. डिफरेंट स्टाफ है वो कर सकता है. MIS वगैरह से जब आपको टाइम मिल जाए और बाकी चीजों से टाइम मिल जाए तो आप IMS पे चले जाइए. ऐसा कर तो सकते हैं, बट शुड दैट बी डन? Again, a query for you in the chat box, you can reply. Should we do it that frequently, like on a daily basis or a weekly basis? Should we do that? Few answers I would need from the audience. Okay. So we have very intelligent audience and they are telling me no, that should not be done. And I absolutely agree with you. That should not be done. कि और चीजों से टाइम मिल गया तो चलो IMS खेलते हैं. That should not be done. And this is also because in such cases the supplier can make changes. आपने कर लिया, उसके बाद supplier ने change कर दिया तो मुश्किल हो जाएगी. So at least till filing of GSTR 1 by the supplier, till that time I think we should wait. उसके बाद subsequently we can do it, because otherwise उसने अगर change कर दिया तो आपने जो भी उसका status होगा, acceptance, rejection का जो भी है वो reset हो जाएगा. आपको action उसके ऊपर दोबारा से लेना पड़ेगा. That is why it is important that we should wait for a significant period of time and thereafter only do it. So that was basic about the IMS. Now I should take some frequently asked questions on IMS, and I think that will again clear a lot of doubts that you are having. A question is being asked whether all records will be there in the IMS, or there are some records which will not be there in the IMS. So let us see. Documents where ITC is not eligible due to place of supply rules, or you have not claimed it till filing of the annual return or 30th of November, there are 11 dates. In those cases, the records will not be there in the IMS. They will not appear here, and they will directly go to the ITC not available section of GSTR 2B. Next question, what will happen to the accepted and rejected records? We have already seen accepted or rejected records will be removed from IMS on filing of GSTR 3B, and the pending records will remain in IMS till action is taken or the expiry of the relevant time, 30th of November, or filing of the annual return, whichever is earlier. Next question is, now there's a question from Pavan Arora that whether we need to take any action on each invoice manually, or there would be any utility for doing the same. If you are using Webtil's maybe GST utility, whether the retail version or the corporate version, you know that all this is being automated. Automatically, the invoices are being matched by auto intelligence using AI, and you don't have to do anything. Only for the cases which are not being matched, that is being done. So for users of Webtel, it is a very easy thing, and I'll just also explain what difference will be, how different it will be for you, and what minor difference will be there. Just a click of a button will be there for you. Otherwise, everything will remain the same. Then there's a question whether the action taken on an invoice can be changed after filing 3B. No, after filing 3B, the action cannot change. Thereafter, in subsequent months, probably the changes can be done, but in the 3B, it cannot be done. Let me first complete my FAQs, then I'll come to your FAQs also now. What all documents will not be made available in IMS but will be part of GSTR 2B? So these documents will be documents flowing from the following forms like GSTR 5, GSTR 6, IceGate documents, RCM records where supplier has reported in table 4B of IFF GSTR 1 or GSTR 1A, documents where ITC is ineligible due to PO's rules or section 16.4 limitation, or documents where ITC is to be reversed on account of rule 37A, that is where non-payment of tax by the supplier is by even till 30th of September of the next year, he has not paid the tax, and where ITC is to be reversed as per rule 37A. All these documents will not be there in the IMS, but will be part of GSTR 2B. Are there any invoices records where pending action is not allowed in IMS? Yes. The following scenarios, pending action will not be available. Either you have to reject, you have to accept, keep pending option will not be there. Which are these cases? Where in case of original credit note, you cannot keep it pending. Similarly, upward amendment of credit note, irrespective of action taken by the recipient on the original credit note. Then downward amendment of credit note, if original credit note was rejected by you as a recipient, and downward amendment of invoice or debit note where original invoice or debit note was accepted by the recipient and the respective 3B has also been filed. In all these cases, pending action is not available. In other cases, pending action is available. You can keep in postponing to future months because probably ITC is not available to you, or because some clarity is not there, invoice has not been received, material has not been received, whatever the issue is there. So that is why you can keep all those records pending, but you cannot keep the record pending in these 4 scenarios. And why? Because in all these cases, the rejected invoice in IMS will increase the supplier's liability in GST for the next tax period. तो उस बेचारे को क्यों आप पेनलाइज करना चाहते हैं? अगर आप ये करेंगे तो उसके अगले मंथ की GSTR 3B की लायबिलिटी बढ़ जाएगी, तो इसलिए ये आपको पेंडिंग रखने की इजाजत सरकार ने नहीं दी. Can I take action multiple times on a document? Any answers on that? Can I take action multiple times on a document? कर सकता हूं. अगर गलती हो गई, मैंने रिजेक्ट कर दिया, उसके बाद मुझे लगा इसको तो एक्सेप्ट करना था, एक्सेप्ट कर दिया, उसके बाद मुझे लगा रिजेक्ट कर देना था, कीप पेंडिंग किया, बाद में लगा ठीक है. सो इट इज अ फ्लेक्सिबल सिस्टम एंड यू कैन डू इट. एंड ये जो फ्रीजिंग होगा, दैट विल बी डन एट द टाइम ऑफ फाइलिंग 3B. If I've taken an action on a document in saved status, but same is edited, changed by supplier before filing is GSTR 1, I will reiterate, in these cases, the action taken by the recipient will be reset. जो भी आपने action लिया था, वो action हटा लिया जाएगा, and the edited record will be available for recipient for fresh action in IMS. If a record is deleted before filing of GSTR 1, 1A, IFF by the supplier, then such document will be removed from IMS also. तो आप कुछ भी करते रहिए, लेकिन अगर सप्लायर उसके बाद कुछ कर देता है, रिकॉर्ड डिलीट कर देता है, ऑल्टर कर देता है, तो वो रीसेट हो जाएगा और आपको उसको दोबारा एक्सेप्ट, रिजेक्ट या कीप पेंडिंग करना पड़ेगा. As a taxpayer, what all I will be able to view on the IMS? IMS में हमने देख लिया, we've already seen that from a recipient view, what all will be available. So one is the recipient view that we have already seen till now, where all the inward supplies documents will be available, the details will be available, and these are documents will be available for action by the recipient. As a supplier also, you'll be able to see what the buyer is taking the actions, whether he's accepting, rejecting, or keeping pending, etc. He will be able to see, but this facility will be available shortly. As of now, from the 14th of October, I think this will not be available, but shortly this will be available. So again, this is again keeping a check on both. The supplier can ask the recipient can ask the supplier कि भाई आपने अभी अपना काम नहीं किया, so मेरा काम बीच में रुक रहा है, I'm being stopped for doing filing my returns, etc. because of this particular issue. So please ask your ask your compliance officers to complete this work. So that facility is there. So we have each one of us will have as a recipient view also, as a supplier view also. This is the supplier view of the IMS. Here, for each of the tables, we will getting how many records are there for amended invoices, amended credit notes, debit notes for various invoices, etc. And when we click on these, we will get further details, invoice-wise details we will be getting. And further, if we move to the right-hand side, we will get these are obviously reported in GSTR 1. And the status is no action has been taken, it is not eligible for IMS, etc. And it also tells you whether the recipient has filed his 3B or not. So all this information will be available to you as a supplier also. What happens if a recipient rejects a record? If he rejects a record before filing of GSTR 1 by the supplier, the invoice or the record can be edited and the supplier can file the GSTR 1 with the corrected amount or the corrected record. And this edited record will be made available in the IMS for action by the recipient. In case the recipient rejects after filing of GSTR 1 by the supplier can again make the corrections in GSTR 1A or in subsequent GSTR 1 IFF with the corrected record. And the amended record will be available in the IMS for action by the recipient. What will happen to pending records in IMS? Pending records will continue to be in IMS till the time of cutoff date as per the section 16.4 of the CGST Act, that is 30th of November, or filing of the annual return, whichever is earlier. Thereafter, these records will be removed from the IMS. उसके बाद आप credit ही नहीं ले सकते, ITC नहीं ले सकते. That is why these will be removed from the pending records. So proper एक बहुत, I think they've made a good system, an excellent system where everything is being thought of before. In fact, क्योंकि ये सब तो background में already return जब हमारा GST आया था उसी time ये चीजें propose हो गई थी, but due to various hurdles it was not being done. But now all that philosophy has been brought in through IMS so that things happen systematically. Is there any scenario where draft GSTR2B will not be generated by the system on 14th of the subsequent month? Let us see. As I already told you, if the previous month GSTR2B is not filed by the taxpayer, then the system will not generate draft GSTR2B on the 14th of the subsequent month. So it is again requested to you that keep filing GSTR1, 3B sequentially, month after month, quarter after quarter, so that all these things happen seamlessly. Taxpayer can generate their GSTR2B from the IMS dashboard after filing their previous GSTR3B. What about GSTR2B for quarterly taxpayers? As can be presumed that for quarterly taxpayers, GSTR2B will not be generated for the first third month, last month of the quarter. Here recomputation of 2B will be allowed on after that till filing of GSTR3B. And all these things, all the logics, etc., will be similar as in the case of GSTR2B, 3B, or which we have talked about till now for monthly cases. Now, all these FAQs have been, I've talked to you about the basics of IMS we have talked about. I think the basic understanding is there. What will happen if we accept? What will happen if we reject? Now, why WebTel? This question will come to you. Why WebTel? So huge number of purchase transactions. It will be very difficult for the staff if the number of transactions are very huge. And then if the number of transactions are huge, again, if you are working online at the portal, huge online traffic in the peak days or the peak hours may result in crashing of the site or it being very slow. That is why they are going even for phased implementation. That is a very good reason why they are going for it. And a good software is a prerequisite for seamless ITC reconciliation. The users of WebTel, or even those who have seen the demo of the same, they're aware that we are already providing the facility of accepting, rejecting, or keeping the records pending in GSTR2B records. So practically for our users, there will not be any change. It will be business as usual. It will be work as usual. And entire work can be done offline, and the requisite data can be uploaded in the IMS dashboard at the click of a button. It will be something like this. You do the reconciliation, auto intelligence with auto intelligence, as somebody asked whether each and every invoice will have to be done. No, there is no need for that. Let's say 80, 85, 90, 95% records will be matched automatically using AI, and only the work will have to be done in few cases where the amount is not matching, the GST may not be matching, or some other fields may not be matching. So there you have to see and take the relevant action. Otherwise, it will be done automatically. And first, there will be status as per Web GST, whether it is accepted, rejected, that will be done automatically, or in some cases, you may do it manually. And at a click of a button, you'll be able to transport or transform that action for each of the invoices at the IMS, at the government portal. So it will be as the work as you are doing as of now, no issues with that. Somebody is asking about the pending ITC. Pending we can claim in subsequent months. Once we receive the material, once we receive the invoice, all those issues, once it is resolved and we are eligible to take the ITC, in that case, in subsequent months, we can take the ITC claim. So it is once again, I'll say it is work as usual, it is business as usual for users of WebTel or other people who are using departments portals facility. They may definitely go for WebTel solution. You can go for the retail solution, or if you are users of ERP, in that case, you can go for the various corporate solutions that we are having for various ERPs, and there will be seamless integration for SAP, for NAV, for Oracle, etc. And it will be as if you are working in the ERP itself, but at the back end, all the integrations will be done so that it will happen automatically. Everything will happen automatically. And as I said, we are doing all these integration with the various accounting softwares like Busy, Tally, etc., and the various ERPs like SAP, Navision, Microsoft Dynamics, Oracle, etc. All these, even homegrown ERPs, we are giving integration solutions for them, and our users are well aware of that. For the new users or new people who have joined, they can definitely go for demos of our software, where GST filing and even invoicing, e-bill, they're all integrated. They're all seamless workflow is there, and definitely the work, the compliance, it will be very easy. And so it is up to you that you go for the corporate solution that we have, that the retail solutions which we have, or for each of the record you go for something like a KBC quiz, whether you want to accept, reject, keep it pending, or you don't want to take any action. So that was all from my side. And now let me take a few questions if time permits me. Let me take a few more questions which are from your side. And let me tell you, it is best to be compliant. Just taking short corners, just taking small turns, side turns, we should avoid doing that, because now with all this information available with the government, it is very easy for the tracking. Initially, also we thought in GST things will happen, but many for a lot of time no notices were etc. were received. We were very happy कि भाई ठीक है, बढ़िया सिस्टम है, जीएसटी गवर्नमेंट कह रही थी एक्चुअली बढ़िया सिस्टम है क्योंकि कोई नोटिसेस वगैरह नहीं आ रहे. But once the system stabilizes, there was a flood of notices for everybody. It was everybody to explain what the kind of credits they had taken, the details, etc. And now even the other drawbacks that they had, that they did not have the details of the ITC that you were claiming. So now they are armed with that, also with IMS. So it will be very easy for them, and they will definitely be sending notices to you, and it will be difficult to explain if you are not following. And each and every invoice, every rupee counts, every paisa counts, and even there is an iota of differences there. System generated notices are there. There will be notices for you, and you will have to explain. Now let us see some questions. All the invoices of the last 14th October, somebody is asking what all invoices will be available in the first draft 2B. Obviously, they will be carrying forward from the September GSTR1. Just like you always get GSTR 2A and 2B, you will be getting again GSTR 2A and 2B. And here the added options of taking actions, which we were taking till now offline. The option will be to online take the actions also, or take actions offline in the software, and we will be giving the option to upload those actions in the IMS. October 24 is mandatory. Yes, it is mandatory, Ajay Sharma. It is mandatory, and it is open to you not to take an action. But if you do not take an action, then it will be deemed as accepted. So it is mandatory.